Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now, if you notice, I got a little bit more light on me. You know, got the success hat on. And good morning again. This is the third video. Unfortunately, I guess I was using too much of the battery on on the phone, and the video before this one went out before I actually finished it off formally like I usually do. But it's okay. Still, I'm gonna post that video up with the other video that goes and it will be the second one, and this is the third. But back to the point I was saying that what I got cut off from is that the people from my hood, you know, we were pretty much involved in what we had no choice. We was up against the wall, as you can say, or whatever, and a lot of people went and did what they did and they really didn't want to. They didn't really want to be there. And then those who got caught up into the system, got locked up, locked down, whatever you want to call it, they didn't want to be there neither. Especially there, because the atrocities and the crazy stuff that went on there, rape and all that type of stuff, beaten up, getting shanked up, whatever that they went through and struggled through. I never did time because alhamdulillah, all praises due to Allah. I was not the one that just like would just go without no care. When I was doing what I was doing out there, I had boundaries set for myself, and I said, "Nah, I'm not going there. Or I'm not going with y'all. Y'all go ahead. I'm good. I'm a chill." And I guess just being from a family like that. Also, my mom's she was strong mother, strong black African, Spanish woman, and she didn't play neither. But at the same time, she instilled that boundary, and I had God fearingness even then, Roman Catholic basis. But still, I knew like, yo, there's certain level, there's a certain position I'm gonna take, and I stood my ground. I didn't let nobody say, "Oh, yeah, you just sucker, you scared." No, I didn't care. I said I loved my freedom. I knew dudes was getting locked up even then, especially if you committed vicious crimes, and there was no a whole lot of that until like the mid '80s started coming in the crack era. But I spoke about that in some of my other videos, and most people know how the change went and how things got worse as generations went on with this thug, gangster, gang banging, all that type of stuff, movement, and then became like part of the music. Of course, music industry took over from the West, came on to even the East Coast, and then gang, hardcore rap as they call it or whatever like that became part of the music industry on the side of well, our people. Even R&B, it had influences from it, and the women, being easier as they back in the day, they wasn't as easy. Then it became more easy. Then the name changed, and they gave them more negative names instead of sister, my black sister, and then it becomes a B, and now a hoe, and they use it or boss B. Now now these are the terms, but it's all ingrained and due to the lack of having some economical structure. So people, when they tried to do it the way they felt they was going to do it, they did it like I said earlier in the second video that I just left from, trying to do the negative way how the white man or how their oppressor did in this country. A lot of them did a lot of negative stuff to get what they got. First, slavery, and not even that. Then you had the mafia. You had the Italian, especially the Italian mafia. They don't have just they didn't have just the Italian mafia. Let's get it right. Let's get it straight. No, let's get it right. They had the Irish, they had the Jewish, all the other different Europeans in this country that is so-called established this country. Even the politics and the politicians, they did a lot of corruption as well. But that's history if you look into it and you find it, And then the assassinations of high uh, political officials like the President Kennedy, because he was talking against some of the evils of and the corruption in higher places. So it's been going on for years, and then you got us people of color doing the same thing, like come on, man. And we still doing it, and we still don't like we still don't get it. It's like we just still don't get it. All the hoopla and all the marching and protests, we still don't get it. We still out there with that same mentality how to go about getting money. And it's like, yo, it's like you just like you want it. You just like you committing suicide while you out there. It's like that's what you're doing. You gambling, taking the risks. You got to be a gambler, but gambling your life, that's like crazy. That's like a mental issue. That's why I said with money that we got to change our mentality because it influences us in the way where we physically become harmed. Physically, let alone mentally and spiritually. How that happens is at the end of all of it. Because if you allow it to take you over even physically, you're already taken over emotionally. It's already established in your heart to deal with money on a greed or a way of vanity, you know. But basically, to get to the point of this video, I'm gonna take you back to it, and we can look at to see how they depict basically. Let me just turn over to it. They depict what's going on in the change of things and how we should be perceiving dealing with money.
You're probably working a job right now, one that you got from the degree that you studied for in university. You probably don't have much in savings. Your living expenses seem ridiculously high. You feel as though you're not paid enough. You have credit card debt that needs taken care of. Maybe you're a student, studying for a degree that you hope can land you a job that you hope can bring in some good money. You probably don't have any savings, only a pesky student debt hanging above your head. Wealth? Getting rich? That all seems like a distant dream. How did they do it, you ask yourself? Seeing all those millionaires, billionaires, especially the ones who got there at such a young age, it baffles you, it makes you angry. They got lucky, they were born into wealth, they cheated their way to the top. That money doesn't make them happy. Money is evil anyway. I'm not smart enough, I'm just unlucky. Those dreams you had of buying that mansion, your favorite sports car, paying off your mortgage, traveling around the world, they'll forever remain that way. Just dreams, nothing more. Nothing less. You come to the harsh realization, it's a rigged game. It's been a rigged game from the start. And you're on the losing side of it.
Yeah. Especially us. It's been like that. I was just listening to this guy. He does a show, and it's called African Diaspora. I think his name is Steve, if I'm correct. But he touches base on a lot of the issues for African American people in this country, and then making a connection with Africa and how he tries to send a message that it is much more important in these times more than ever now that we've seen awakenings on both ends in America, other parts of the African diaspora in Europe. Those Africans that are there, African descendants that are there, waking up to their heritage and going and wanting to go back to Africa to either connect or just to, and then mainly out of all of that, just to live and to start to reestablish their life there as which was taken away from them through their heritage from their ancestors. So he speaks a lot about that and connecting with Africa and making migration back and stuff like this. But and he speaks on the issues of racism that is always majority of the times, of course, here is perpetuated here on us. So the main point basic that he was talking about that stuck with me with this subject matter of money is that he was saying there was some some subject matter that he came up in and he was doing and he was covering on his show, and some of the people in the comment section said, well, we built this country and they're African Americans. But the point is, it's like, because he was saying, I think something about the people were saying how bad it is here and that why we should make moves to try to move to Africa, go back home, go back to Africa. And then they were saying, but why should we built this country like this. And he was speaking on how white supremacy or even this country was established to only for a chosen few, and this chosen few were white people, not black people. It wasn't built for us. We was the ones to build it for them. And he says that, and the guy was saying there's still people who are like that today, as they said in the comments. Why we built this country, yo. So, what you built, what do you have from with that which you built? What do we have? We don't even own close to 10%, not even close to 5%. I don't think of the wealth in this country. And he says that we're at the, as I say, bottom of the totem pole, the like a fifth rate class, not second rate or third rate, fifth, the bottom. Because other nationalities, even Mexicans or Hispanic people, because I say Mexicans, why? Because they're a predominant factor as far as their people in numbers here, all over the country, and they have a lot of opportunities that they push themselves to get. Businesses, this, that, whatever, small business, whatever, big business too. They got restaurants all over. So, but they have more than what we have. Not as a jealous position to take, as far as how I'm saying this, but I'm saying this. This is facts. This is statistics. And the Asians, oh, forget it. They're like three or maybe two. I think they're at the second level. And then you have Indians from India, those types of Asians. And you might have, who's the other people who got stuff going on here? The Native Americans might be right over us with the Hispanics. So it's like, what do we have? What are we doing with our wealth? And what kind of wealth do we have? Now, when we get it, what do we do? And that's the point that I left off. We want all this stuff like the guy was showing here in this video, but we're not striving to get it in the way that we're going to be able to at least say, okay, this is mine, and there's nobody coming after me to take it, as far as other than a thief. But they can't get it from me because I got it on unjust manner or illegal ways. Like always trying to get over on the system. That's another thing. Trying to always get over on the system. We got to be careful with that too. Even if it's not out there on the streets, on the corners, selling drugs, hustling drugs. You know what I'm saying? You don't pay your taxes. What happens? And this is what is the process. This is what is the system. They press on that, or else you will be pressed in and locked in. That's the ultimate. So why do you want to continue to be oppressed and suppressed? But you got to do something. You got to get yourself out of this situation. So you got to build up money. You got to build the income. You got to have money. That's just what it is. So how you going to go about it is what the point is that I'm going to leave off in the next video more and speak more on. And one of those ways is from the change that has come to be. That money's not going to be used the same as it was originally created as the money that we know of, which is called fiat. The fiat dollar or the fiat bill, which is a piece of paper now. And you got coins as well that value that are the representations of the numbers of what the money is. Before it was a gold standard and other commodities people had wealth based on way back. But now it's a note and a credit. A credit note. It has no standing for real, but only in the eyes of those who originated it and put the value to it. And those are people at the top. Those are the feds. Those are people in control of money that we know it to be in America. Not even talking about the other countries. But it's changing again. And they pushed for it to change. They want to change so they can bring in a new form of money. And that's the point that I'm going to be getting at. And this new form of money is known as Digital currency. Hear it again. Digital currency. And the next video that I do, and I'm gonna bring a little bit more of this video because I know they get into some stuff that's like a more like a scenario, a good scenario to base what I'm talking about. But cryptocurrency is one of them. And as I said, like with 50 Cent, cryptocurrency is one of the main and becoming the most demanded digital currency. Not just ATM charge cards, okay? Because that's another form of digital currency. You know, what's in our bank is digits. It's not about no cash. You're not getting cash. You're making a transaction from a card that has the value of your money in your bank, or shows the record of the value of your money in the bank. Okay, so let's start getting real and understanding what's going on here and the changes and what's going to be prominent in the future, inshallah. And I'm on that because I'm tired. I'm tired of being in a position where I can do things and make more moves and have more power in my life for me as a Muslim first, and even as an African American man or a man of color. I need to have a much more control over my life. I can't allow people to continue to have control over me, because mainly what economics, they have a economical advantage, higher advantage over me. I'm tired of it. And there's nothing wrong as a Muslim to go after wealth to basically be able to put yourself in a position where you can have more freedom to worship your Lord. That's the first ikhlas. That's the first pure intention that should be on. Your intention should be upon ikhlas, purity, that you're going to worship your Lord. The things that you do when you decide to establish, you establish first for Allah, to pleasing Him. And then that goes down the line, you, your family, and on throughout the world to other Muslims or other human beings. So this is where I'm at. I'm trying to be that vicegerent for myself at first, and then for whoever Allah is going to give me a managing position over, as far as to be able to run my family better, to run my life better, to not be in a position where I feel like I'm not making it. I'm not able to make it. I'm not able to provide, or I'm not able to even, help anybody that needs help anybody. I remember the saying, if you don't have a pot to, as they say, they used to say piss, but I don't want to use that, but that's a nasty word, but urine, whatever, let's be real, that's what they used to say. And some people still, old school people still say that. Then how are you going to be able to go and do something for anybody? How are you going to do for other people if you don't even have your own? That's the point that they're trying to make. And that was geared to more, speaking of your economical base. We got to get it, people. Wake up. Wake up. We got to get it. All right, so I'm over and out. Again, thumbs up if you can. Subscribe and get in on this discussion, because it's really, woo, let's get it. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings.